Hello angels and welcome to Angel Glow. I'm your host for today's video and my name is Mariah Joy and I am a certified holistic health practitioner. I'm also the founder of Angel Glow and my vision for Angel Glow is for women to feel empowered, connected, expressed, and able to live in the present moment with radical self-acceptance and self-love. We do this by our online free community. We have a local and an international, and the link to that is in my bio. And we also host in person and online events, programs, retreats, and share knowledge because knowledge is power. And I want every woman to feel empowered across the world to be able to take control of their lives and their autonomy through health and wellness in a way that's accessible, equitable, and beneficial to all. We also have a podcast coming, community resources, girl talk and advice, a weekly newsletter, and weekly check-ins on that free page. Launching soon will also be a paid platform of blog posts, personal challenges, one-on-one sessions, and other exclusive benefits for those who are in a position to do that and are really looking to put that focus on themselves and fast track that balance and that fulfilling life to where you feel empowered to go chase your dreams. So today's video, we're going to be talking about Angel Glow's framework to feminine wellness. And I designed the 8 pillars of feminine wellness, which we'll go through one by one and dive deeper into how you can live a balanced life through these pillars. So, the 8 pillars of wellness is a cyclical adaptation of Dr. Peggy Swarbrick's 8 dimensions of wellness, which she actually created based off of other wellness models. And then she went from, I think it was 4 pillars to 6 pillars to finally 8 pillars. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't have the fact right here. I'll put the real thing. I'll correct it. But I adapted this because according to my own research, my knowledge that I gained through my education, and then my own personal experiences, I really found that there was not an inclusive framework specifically designed for those with a cycle. And our cycle dictates a lot about our mood, our emotions, our hormones, even our cognitive ability. A study by the National Library of Medicine found that there was actually no framework that was globally inclusive, and specifically as well, there weren't considerations for inequalities or situations that women are facing on a daily basis. Angel Glow's framework, it was really important for me to include things like our biological rhythms, social inequalities, and relational health because all of those things deeply impact the outcome of a woman's life within health and wellness. So what this means is, of course, access, ability, if you are an able-bodied person, if you are a person of color, if you are living in poverty, if you are living where there is a conflict or a war going on, there are, of course, going to be stipulations to everything, and you are going to have to tailor this to your specific life. After all, this journey is about you. It's about finding your authenticity, finding your inner child, figuring out what sparks joy, and what makes you feel passionate about the human experience. Women's bodies function through hormonal rhythms rather than constant structure. This is why the linear productivity models just don't work. So, Angel Glow encourages cyclical alignment. And this means that we are listening to our bodies, we're understanding at what phase of our cycle that we are in, and how we can best support ourselves through it. I want you to see your cycle as something that is empowering you, something that is letting you have better intuition, not only about yourself, but your life and your feelings and what you truly want. Once you learn how to use your cycle as something that benefits you, it really changes the game into you feeling like you have more power over your life, over your emotions, over your hormones, and even over your productivity and motivation. Because if you're not supporting yourself during certain phases, then it really, really shows in other phases where our productivity and creativity is heightened. I want you to look at the 4 phases of menstruation as energetic phases. So these are going to be the menstrual cycle, the follicular, the ovulatory, and the luteal. So these 4 phases within the menstrual cycle are going to help you to align your health and wellness model to yourself and your energy levels. I want you to think of your health and wellness model as flowing, not forcing. We're really embodying the rhythms, the natural rhythms of the feminine cycle. Sorry for the different setting, but one of my videos deleted, I guess, or never filmed. So this is me introducing the first pillar of Angel Glow's health and wellness framework, the 8 pillars of feminine health and wellness. It is physical and hormonal health and wellness. For our physical and hormonal wellness, we're really honoring the body as a dynamic biological system. And we'll split this up into physical health and wellness and hormonal health and wellness. However, these two are deeply intertwined. Physical wellness includes hormonal health, reproductive health, nutrition and metabolism, movement and physical strength, and then sleep and nervous system regulation. Since women's bodies are continuously going through hormonal shifts, that's why we have it as physical and hormonal health and wellness, because these two are so deeply connected. So our hormones are going through different shifts through these different life stages, and we want to be empowered and supported in all these life stages. And these would be menstruation, pregnancy, perimenopause, perimenopause, menopause, and postpartum. These biological processes affect things like mood, cognition, our sleep, our energy levels, our metabolic health, and our mental health. And all of these are ginormous factors when it comes to health and wellness. So when women work with their bodies instead of against them, they experience such greater resilience and vitality through all of these life stages. And Angel Glow really encourages cycle-aware nutrition, movement, and exercise that's matched to your energy levels without shame or guilt, restorative sleep and intentional rest, and hormone-supported lifestyles. And our next video will actually be diving into physical and hormonal wellness and how you can balance this area of your life. We posted next week, so our entire theme next week is going to be about physical and hormonal health. All right, angels, we are moving into the second pillar of feminine health and wellness, and this is going to be emotional wellness and expressive wellness. Key insights for this are going to be emotional literacy, creative expression, and regulation. Hormonal changes can influence processing and vulnerability to mood fluctuations. But emotional wellness is not only about coping, it's about expression and integrating expression and your emotions. Women through history have unfortunately been socialized to withhold emotions, suppress their emotions, and also to not express certain emotions like anger or sadness or disdain or rage. True feminine rage is so beautiful because we have been taught to literally sit there, look pretty, take it with a smile. And that is just not empowering, not in the sense of you can't be a sweet, adorable angel of a person, but you also do have to have those values, morals, and boundaries for yourself and for others so that you're able to live the life on your path and within your purpose. Emotional expression is strongly tied to psychological well-being and stress reduction. So if anything, if you start to express yourself more throughout your life, the worst that's going to happen is you'll be less stressed and your mental health will be improved. Angel Glow emphasizes emotional awareness, healthy emotional release, radical self acceptance and self compassion, nervous system regulation, and creative emotional expression. So, things that you could start to do or start to integrate into your life to become more expressive and more in tune with your emotions and your true self would be something like journaling, singing, art, music. You could do storytelling or write poetry. Or you could even do things like dancing or somatic movement. There are going to be plenty of things posted in order to help you achieve that nervous system regulation, that deep self compassion and self love, where you can just express and fully accept yourself in that moment, embody the feelings that are coming up, and truly feel empowered to just live. Expression is what transforms emotion into insight, creativity, and true healing. The third pillar is going to be social and community wellness. And community and connection is a biological and psychological need, especially for women. Through history, we've gathered in circles, religious practices, rituals, and even collective childcare, which is so beautiful, and bring that back. Strong social relationships are one of the biggest predictors for health and wellness. Community and social belonging, that feeling of truly feeling accepted and loved by the people that you're surrounded with, are also protective factors against mental illness, stress, and burnout. Women's wellness research really emphasizes the importance of strong social support networks, friendship and sisterhood, collaborative environments, and emotional safety. Do you feel safe to express your true self, your true emotions to these people and not have the worry of feeling judged or feeling exiled for having a different opinion, or just feeling like you're actually embraced for your true emotions? It's very important for me to note that social determinants such as poverty, discrimination, and social inclusion can deeply affect one's health and wellness outcomes. Angel Glow builds community through women's circles, through shared experiences, mentorship, and through collaborative growth. That's something that was extremely important to me when I knew that I wanted to launch a community, was that I wanted you guys to have the ability to give me feedback and give Angel Glow in general feedback about what you want to see, what you're liking, what you're disliking, and generally how you're feeling in your life and about this health and wellness journey that we are all on. The fourth pillar is going to be intellectual and creative wellness. So I want you to think about this as learning, imagination, and creative vitality. So, intellectual wellness involves curiosity, critical thinking, and lifelong learning. Now, for me, I have always loved to learn, and being an adult's so cool because you get to pick the topics that you learn about. So, if you're bored of something, you can just switch. You can just choose something else. If you want to learn something on a random Tuesday, you can. You can just look it up. I think it's so important to keep your curiosity alive, and honestly, the cognitive benefits of being curious about life and learning, and like for me specifically, I'm learning Spanish right now. It's going to be so beneficial for me to be able to connect with a wider audience of people, and I really am struggling. Like honestly, I've never been that good at like memorization, and it's not all memorization. There are a lot of similarities thankfully between English and Spanish. However, it still is a lot, and I am just feeling my brain working in the best way, because as adults it's very easy to just choose the easy mode, to just not have to have our brains be critically thinking or be curious about life. And honestly, life can become very stagnant if you don't stay curious and stay learning about it. There are so many things to learn about. I'm sure that you can just whittle it down to one or two things that you're like, oh, this is kind of what I want to focus on for maybe this next month, and then see what you get out of it, journal about it, and write about how your experience was. And if you don't stick with it, that is completely okay. There are no rules. You can literally change your life at any given moment. You just have to decide to do it. For women, creative expression is equally important as cognitive well being. Creativity activates multiple brain networks and really supports emotional processing, innovation, identity development, and problem solving. Angel Glow views creativity as a life force, not a luxury. So even if you don't have access to maybe as much as somebody else does, in sense of, oh, maybe I don't have those paints that I want or that specific notebook that I would love to have, we have access to our voice, we have access to our bodies at all times. There is always an outlet for us to be able to creatively express ourselves. If you can find a piece of paper and a pencil, you can creatively express yourself. And this takes away a lot of those barriers that our mind likes to put on us when we make excuses for why we are not being creative or why we don't want to creatively express. A lot of the times, our bodies and our brains are just not used to it anymore. We're really pushed as kids to be creative, to be imaginative, and that the world is our oyster. And then as adults, we grow up and it's less prioritized. Creativity is less prioritized and praised in the work world and honestly among adult friends as well. Thankfully, I feel like our generation is bringing it back. We can have fun, we can be connected to our inner child as adults and creatively express literally however we want. Find something that you loved to do as a kid, whether it be painting, drawing, playing with clay, storytelling, roller skating. Literally, I love to roller skate and I express creatively through roller skating because I like to dance on my roller skates. You can dance, you can sing, you can play an instrument. There are so many ways to creatively express, and all of them will improve your life and well being significantly. Something to note too is that if there are times during your month where you're like, oh, I'm just not feeling creative, I just feel like maybe there's a block, don't worry. That is completely normal. Many women actually experience heightened creativity in their follicular phase. This is due to estrogen rising and our cognitive abilities actually expanding. The goal is rhythm. We're not forcing, we're flowing. We are not focusing on perfection, we're focusing on radical acceptance and listening to our bodies. The fifth pillar is going to be occupation and purpose wellness. And this is going to mean that our work is meaningful to us and that is aligned with our well being. So, does your work make you feel valued? Does it make you feel good about yourself? Do you feel empowered and supported? Or do you leave work feeling very drained and coming home without energy to do the things that you know would benefit yourself, but you just are so tired from work and the environment or the people or the workload that you actually feel like you can't do it? Occupational wellness includes meaningful work, career development, your work life balance, and your personal fulfillment from the job. Women often face occupational challenges like wage gaps, unpaid caregiving responsibilities, so being a mother or taking care of the house when maybe your partner also works but doesn't take care of the house. And again, these are just quick examples too. Like, we'll go much deeper onto each pillar. Do not worry. But also career interruptions due to family roles. So this could be maybe you had a grandparent that had something happen and now you're expected to drop work and take care of them. You're expected to go and pick up the kids that are sick from school. You're always expected to take the kids for their after school activities, play dates, or whatever, etc. All of these things can really impact a woman's success in their occupational roles. Research also consistently shows that women of color have much higher wage gaps, with Black women having the highest wage gap. And across the world, as well. The wage gaps between men and women are much higher than what we do see in the West. So it's important to just take these things all into consideration. And when you are applying to a job or a new role, or maybe you are already working somewhere where you feel like you are getting mistreated or underpaid, I think it's very important to have that recognition that you know that this is something that could be happening. You could be being underpaid for the same amount of work and labor. Other determinants of occupational wellness could also include having a chronic illness and not being able to work, or not being able to work as much as other people think that you should, or if you are neurodivergent, or you struggle with some other type of disability, or you maybe have postpartum and you're just really struggling and can't get back to work. All of these different things that women face, including physical violence from partners and intimidation from workplace employees that are men, or sexual intimidation or harassment. All of these are going to be determinants of how we feel about our occupational wellness, and they're just really important to think about and consider when we choose our jobs. And if we don't have choice in our jobs, which across the world, unfortunately, there are many women who do not get to choose what they do. Finding that balance is going to be much different than somebody who has the privilege to choose your job. So if you do have the privilege to choose your job, choose wisely, choose somewhere where you're feeling valued and loved on and cared about if possible. Angel Glow reframes success as purposeful contribution rather than productivity alone. Healthy occupational wellness includes autonomy and flexibility, creative expression through work, opportunities for growth and leadership, and a supportive workplace environment. The sixth pillar is financial and equity wellness. The focus for this is going to be economic empowerment and systemic fairness, because financial stability is a key determinant of health and wellness, and women globally face pay inequality, lack of access to resources, unequal caregiving responsibilities, and financial insecurity. Structural and policy factors, including discrimination, employment inequality, and limited access to healthcare, can directly affect women's health outcomes. So, Angel Glow promotes financial literacy, wealth building, entrepreneurship, and equitable access to opportunity, because financial empowerment is so important to our overall health, independence, and well being. The seventh pillar is environment and lifestyle wellness. This is about creating environments that are nourishing to yourself, healing and soothing your soul, and inviting you to be creative, expressive, empowered, and connected with yourself. The spaces that women inhabit, our homes, our workplace, and our community spaces, all have powerful effects on our mental and physical health. Environmental well-being includes safety, access to nature, our physical surroundings, our sensory environments, and sustainable living. Healthy and nourishing environments support hormonal balance and reduce stress. Angel Glow really encourages that you prioritize a calm living space, going into nature often, and having a living space that is hopefully in close proximity to nature, and also toxin conscious living. And this is where the lifestyle factor really comes in. Your environment influences your nervous system and your hormonal health, so this is really important for the overall balance. Okay, angels, you made it to the last pillar. I am so proud of you. You're putting yourself first, and that is the first step into integrating the framework for feminine wellness into your life, so that it becomes second nature and you don't even have to think about it. The eighth and final pillar is spiritual and inner alignment wellness. Our key insights, or what I would like you to think about while we talk about this phase, would be your connection to your meaning, your values, and your intuition. Your spiritual wellness involves the connection to your values, your personal values, and these are the things that you're kind of going to live your life by, your guidebook, your purpose, your intuition, and something greater than yourself. Now, this could for you be God, this could be yourself, this could be Mother Earth, really anything that you identify with and feel within yourself. Spirituality and inner alignment is about you. And if you feel like you're not a spiritual person, I promise you, you are. We're all spiritual beings. And here are some things that you can do to reconnect to that spirituality: meditation, praying. There are some rituals that you can do. Mindfulness is an incredible way to enhance your intuition and your spirituality, that connection to yourself and something greater. Going out in nature and connecting with nature. Nature is such a spiritual healer. If you go out in nature and just sit and watch everything go around you, you just feel so small, and everything, your problems, feel so small when you see the rock that's been there longer than you have, and despite getting stepped on every day and probably moved through a river and, gone through storms and all these different things, maybe an animal picked it up and moved it, who knows? But it still stays consistent, and nature just keeps flowing around it. And that's really what I would like you to be embodying, as I've said a couple times, is flowing, not forcing. For many women, having that spirituality or spiritual connection, and again, this can be religion for you if this is God to you, if you are Christian, if you're Buddhist, if you're Islamic, if you don't identify with a religion and you just are spiritual within yourself, or see nature as spiritual, or the universe. All of these are valid, and all of these really support resilience, your identity formation, and actually also really help with emotional healing. Angel Glow really encourages women to explore and experience spirituality in a way that is open and in a way that is loving and accepting towards all religions and all forms of spirituality and connection. The most important part is that we are respecting ourselves and others and living to our truest and most authentic form. Thank you so much for watching Angel Glow's 8 pillars of feminine wellness, the framework of wellness that Angel Glow uses to help women live the life of their dreams, take control, and reconnect to themselves and their authenticity. We help women reconnect to their bodies, their emotions, understand their hormonal rhythms, express their identities, cultivate their creativity and sense of community through sisterhood, achieve financial and personal empowerment, and live balanced and fulfilled lives. Angel Glow is not just about wellness. It's about women empowering women. It's about women loving themselves and rising together, supporting one another, and stepping fully into their radiant potential. I will see you in the next video.